Welcome to the show. I'm Jason Davis. I am really excited for today's episode because, as you all know, What's Up Sioux Falls is so focused on helping the small business community in this town. And there's no better organization in this town to talk to about that specifically than Startup Sioux Falls. I'm joined today by Peter Hauck, Community Manager for Startup Sioux Falls. Peter, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, Peter, we're going to jump right into this here. For anybody out there watching that maybe isn't familiar with Startup Sioux Falls, or hopefully maybe some folks watching that are just on the cusp of taking the leap to start their own business. Tell us what Startup Sioux Falls does as an organization and the services you offer.
Yeah, for sure. So simply put, Startup Sioux Falls is a nonprofit organization that tries to make it as easy as possible to start a business in Sioux Falls. And I like to say that we do that through 5 main services. The first one is wayfinding and resource navigation. We help get you plugged into the right organization in our ecosystem, whether that's us or a government-funded organization or something of that nature. The second one is we host events and programs for entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurship can be lonely, so we try and give entrepreneurs a space where they can all get together and talk about entrepreneurship. We have a mentorship network where successful entrepreneurs in our community volunteer their time to meet with earlier stage entrepreneurs and give them advice and feedback on maybe what they're trying to do and maybe a little bit of their vision and their experience. And then we have an accelerator program, which is a 10-week-long course that is basically designed to get you from an idea to operations. So I always say that maybe you're a really good baker, maybe you bake a mean cake, but you might not necessarily know how to run a bakery, and that's what the program is designed to help you do. It's designed to help you launch that bakery and start it successfully. And then the last one is co-working. So we have a 45,000 square foot facility here in our current facility. We'll be moving into a new space downtown eventually, but that space will be largely focused on co-working and flexible workspace. The space here also serves that purpose, but to a smaller extent.
Perfect. Okay, so Peter, all that being said, give the viewers just a little idea of your impact in the community with these events.
Yeah, for sure. So we've only been tracking our impact here for the past few months at this point, but the numbers are looking really good. We serve about a few hundred entrepreneurs a year, individuals working to start a business in some way, shape, or form. And then in addition to that, we host those events that I talked about. And like I said, I think we're on track to serve about 3,000 people through those events, and that's through our weekly events at 1 Million Cups, through our branded specific events, our startup pitch nights, and our startup socials, and those types of things. So
perfect. That's fantastic. Okay, now Peter, the next question is admittedly a little broad, but I think in terms of business, and we'll say economy, there is some uncertainty right now in our nation's economy. Yeah. But I like to think that we're, slightly insulated in Sioux Falls. This is such a great city for business. So tell us a little bit about what you're seeing just in terms of the startup economy in Sioux Falls.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'll tell you that nationally there's never been a better time to start a business. There's never been more resources. It's never been more acceptable. It's never been as easy to understand or to access. So from a timeline standpoint, we're at the best point in history to start a business. So that's really good. And then in terms of Sioux Falls, we're at the best point in Sioux Falls to start a business because our organization is really starting to hit a stride in terms of providing those programs and resources to entrepreneurs in a way that maybe they haven't been provided in the past. So we're really beginning to understand what entrepreneurs need and provide that to them. So I think that on a national scale, there's been a shift towards entrepreneurship for a number of reasons. I think with the pandemic and people being locked in their houses, a lot of them decided to maybe take up a hobby and turn that into a business. But then I think there were also a number of people who got laid off from their jobs and were maybe forced into entrepreneurship in a way, and they maybe are now realizing that they kind of like that lifestyle. So there's this national shift towards more and more folks starting their own businesses, and that's what we're here to help support. Right now we operate a 45,000 square foot facility, and we found that the services that entrepreneurs need are really more focused on events and programming and flexible workspace. So that's why we're moving to our downtown space. So we'll wrap up use of our current facility at the end of June. June 30th is the drop dead date for our current facility, and then it will be moving on to become something else, which you'll probably hear more about in the future. But we'll be moving into the old Parks and Recreation or Milwaukee Freight Depot building downtown on 6th and Phillips, across the street from the Source. And that facility, like I said, will be much more focused on flexible work, conference room space, small event space. We really have this vision for that space being the hub or the clubhouse for entrepreneurs in our community. So we really want to activate it with events and programs that are relevant to the community that we serve. We'll be opening up that space, I think, around January of 2023. Obviously, that's dependent upon the build out of that space. But yeah, so from June 30th to January, we will be without a home for a little bit, but you'll still be able to receive our services.
Perfect. All right, Peter, as is tradition on What's Up Sioux Falls, and there's no better organization or person to ask this question to than Peter with Startup Sioux Falls. Is there a piece of advice? Is there maybe a one general piece of advice that you would give to anybody looking to start their own business?
Yeah, for sure. I think there are a lot of people who have an idea or a passion that they want to pursue, and they are maybe struggle to get started. I have the luxury of being able to talk to a lot of folks who are maybe at that early beginning stage of wanting to start a business, and then on the flip side, I also get to talk to a lot of folks who have already built a successful business. And I'd say the biggest gap between the two is that the people who already have started and run successful businesses, they always just took whatever the next step forward was. Maybe they didn't get too caught up in what is the step 6 steps from now. They figured, okay, I'm right here. What do I need to do in order to move one step closer to what my vision is for my business? And if you can just take that one step every time, eventually you're going to get to where you go. There are a lot of folks who quit their business before they ever get started because they get too overwhelmed by all the things that go into starting your own business. But the secret sauce of entrepreneurship is really that nobody knows what they're doing. Every entrepreneur started chasing that idea at some point, and the ones that make it are typically the ones who had a good idea in the first place, but then also had the tenacity to take that next step forward at every point.
Fantastic. That's wonderful advice. Peter, again, thank you so much for the time. Greatly appreciate it. For anybody out there that is on the cusp of taking the leap to start their own business, Peter, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
Yeah, the best place to go is our website, startupsiouxfalls.com, and click the Get Started button. That page has every link to all the ways that you can plug into our startup community, whether that's joining our Facebook group, joining our newsletter, signing up for our mentor network, signing up for our accelerator program, signing up for a meeting with me to figure out where to go and what to do next. That's really the one-stop shop for all of the resources that we have in our ecosystem.
Perfect. Peter, again, thank you all for watching another episode of What's Up Sioux Falls. Be sure to like and follow us on all of your favorite social media channels, and of course our YouTube page. And as always, we'll see you next week.